This final video for lesson 2, we're going to be looking at how to name and write the formulas for acids. There are a number of rules that you can use to help you remember how to name an acid. And what you're going to really want to follow are the instructions in this table here. So what you're going to do when you are naming an acid is you need to start with the name that it would have as a molecular compound. So, for example, if I had hydrogen chloride, then my acid would end up being hydrochloric acid. So what we're wanting to look at is how these polyatomic ions end, their names end here. So if it's an 8, then we know that it's going to be named like this. If it's an ite, we know that it's going to be named like this. Okay, so the example here is HClO3. We would find the ClO3 on our table of polyatomic ions. It's right here. It's chlorate. Okay, so that's an 8. So it would be hydrogen chlorate. But if we're naming it as an acid, it would be chloric acid. So the word that would go in this blank stays the same, but the rest of the name changes. And so this is a method that you are going to need to remember. And so you just have to remember that ides do one thing, ates do this another thing, and ites become this type of acid name. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, so we have H3BO3. So we need to figure out what BO3 would be. So we're going to look on our polyatomic ion chart. And here it is, borate. So it would be hydrogen borate. Okay, that's fine. So it would be a name like this, hydrogen borate. So I'm going to move that bor over here, and I can see the new name would be boric acid. Now, sometimes the naming can be a little hard to remember, and so if you're a person that likes to be tricky, there is a table in your data booklet that has a whole bunch of different acids listed. It's right here on page 8 and 9. So these are the different acids. So you're given the names, and a lot of them you're actually given what it would be as just a compound as well. So for example, hydrogen sulfate is sulfuric acid. Okay, so you may not even have to memorize those rules if you're able to see the patterns in the examples given on this chart. So I can see here, if it is an 8, it's going to be ic acid. So you can follow those rules in this table as well if you're able to see the patterns there. I'll show you another example here is we have aqueous hydrogen hypochlorite. So that's an ite. Then the acid becomes hypochlorous acid. Okay, so I'm not all about memorizing stuff. If you can know how to use the tools that you're given. And this is something that you'll always have in your hands for exams and quizzes. So if that helps you, then you can use that.